one tonight, aren't you?
No. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of... I can't remember the old one either. I can't remember any of them. From the heart
The old one is from the heart of
Broadway, downtown Cape Girardeau. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to continue using that one. However, we haven't done a show in the heart of Broadway and downtown Cape Girardeau since Kaz was down, and we did the twofer.
And for a while, you were saying from the heart of Discord, and I think that just makes everybody sad, including you.
Yeah. No,
that was a pandemic special.
I kind of preferred using Discord only because, and I think it was evident when Kaz was down, that whenever we are all in the same room together, we cannot properly do a show because we're laughing too hard. There's no dialogue. There's nothing. I know we've got some new listeners because we've been having a great month here at Podzilla 1985. So welcome, new listeners, if this is the first time you tuned into us. All right. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host tonight. With me, of course, for this nostalgic trip down nostalgia lane, Jesse Kimball.
Got there eventually. What was the Will Smith song? I tried to name it.
It's Will Smith is eating soybeans in my bed or something like that. Oh, I got a story.
Is this the latest story from Chuck Dingle?
No, I got a story for you chuckleheads here in a second. But let me finish the introductions. Also with us tonight, blue hair, Lindsay Wolfgong. Now
it's not as blue as it should be. It's washing out.
Now with a new hat.
I don't have a new hat, and I can't put Wrecker's helmet on him, and it makes me sad.
Shelby Kimball.
Hi, that's me.
Who was not a part of the old version of After Dark, where we did have porno music, and we did have an introduction telling fans that this show was going to contain expletives and serious content, which no longer applies because we cuss on every show. I'm sorry. We cuss on every fucking show.
Yeah.
And Double H.
I'm getting jiggy with it. Careful. Do you want to get
the
sued?
Wild Wild West?
The Wild West.
That's
Thank you.
Always the better option.
I believe that was Belle Biv DeVoe. I may be wrong on that. I know it was Cisco. Was it Cisco and Belle?
Cisco and
it was Will Smith, Cisco, and I don't know the other people. I keep thinking Belle Biv DeVoe, but I may be wrong on that. Really quick story before we get into our nostalgic talk. Tonight we are talking about, and we're doing the draft again. It went very well last time, despite the fact that I didn't get the poll up. I just claimed victory.
We were both wrong. It's Drew Hill and Cool Mo D.
Drew Hill. Did I say Cisco? Wait, no, Cisco was definitely in that.
Yeah. He's not credited in the title. I'll put it that way.
Am I crazy?
I know he was in the. Well, I know he was in the video. You're right about that.
Because he's the one that's saying we're going straight to the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Right.
Single
right,
sample
Dean?
Stevie Wonder's song "I Wish" and includes part of the chorus of Cool Mo D's song of the same name. Additional guest vocals provided by Drew Hill.
Whoa! I'll be right back.
No, there's already one in there. There's already a similar thing in there.
Okay.
No, Cisco is not credited in any way on this song.
That's wild. That's wild because man, I'm not crazy, right? He's in that song, isn't he?
I thought so too, but now I'm very confused.
I gotta look this up now. Got a Wild Wild West song.
He's not on the music video credits. Like
what? Yeah, because there's a part in the song. There's a part in the song where Will Smith goes, Cisco, we're going straight.
I thought so too, man.
Holy shit!
I remember that.
No way. No way.
Let's go.
No way is this one of those Mandela effects where Cisco was never in this song. We are not that crazy. No.
I'm reading from Wikipedia. The music video, directed by Paul Hunter, features several dialogue sequences with Smith, Cool Mo D, Drew Hill, and a guest appearance by Stevie Wonder, intercut with clips from the film featuring the film's characters. They mentioned Salma Hayek. They mentioned Kenneth Branagh.
No way.
Latin pop star Enrique Iglesias also appeared in the video playing a prince. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air co-star and tap dancer Alfonso Ribeira appeared in the music video as one of the dancers. Other cameos included Lorenz Tate, Sherry Headley, singer, writer, producer Babyface, and female rapper MC Light. Literally nowhere is Cisco mentioned.
Oh my god.
This is the show now. This is what we're doing.
This has been like every episode that Shannon's been having something along these lines.
I figured it out. We're idiots. Cisco was in Drew Hill.
Drew Hill's not a person.
Drew Hill is a band.
Is a group. Yep.
Oh my God!
It's the reverse of that's a man. We got it backwards.
Oh.
That's what it is. I straight up forgot that Drew Hill was a full group and not
group, right?
Just a person. Yeah.
I mean, you hear Drew Hill, you're like, okay, that's a man named Drew.
Yes,
that's
Mr.
Hill.
Our listeners right now just got taken for a ride, and they're screaming. They're screaming at their phone.
Idiots.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody definitely just leared for the first time that Drew Hill is not a person and is a group. And so, if
that
any day where you can educate, I was going to say, any day, shut up, Jesse. Any day where you can educate is the more you know.
Someone out there just learned that Cisco was in a band before he was just Cisco.
Yeah.
Also,
and they all had names, and you won't guess any of them.
No, in fact, I have a list. I had to shut up. I pulled up a list of the members. Here you go. Cisco's number 1, obviously, followed by. Yeah. At first, I thought it was Nokia, like the phone, but I guess it's Nokia.
Yeah. I was going to say, I had a Nokia 5150, if I remember correctly. Great. I loved it.
Then Jazz, Scola,
of course.
Tau, Smoke, and Black.
Not to be confused with Jazzy Jeff.
Past members include Woody.
Woody.
Howdy, partner.
I hate everything about all of this.
When was the last time you heard Drew Hill? When was the last time you heard Cisco, actually? I haven't heard Cisco in forever.
And I was going to say not before then, any time recently.
Oh,
not
Lord.
Even close.
Lord. All right.
Oh, well, Lord.
That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow for an all-new After Horse on the Podzilla 1995 podcast.
After Horse.
No. Tonight we're talking about our top 5 Disney villains, animated films. That's going to be here a little bit later. That's the nostalgic part. We're also going to talk about the Ghostbusters trailer briefly because we have to. But first, let me tell you guys a little story.
Yes.
I want to first off thank Kyle Johnson for inviting me to the Charleston High School tonight to do a speech for their JAG program, which is a program for kind of underprivileged, at-risk youths. Kyle thought my story would be inspirational to them, and growing up poor, losing my parents, etc. And I want to thank him for the opportunity. It was an honor. Thank you, Kyle. I really appreciate it. Of course, CCW has raised, I think he said, over $10,000 in the past 4 years for the JAG program at Charleston. So that's quite an accolade that I'm very, very proud of. But here's the problem with that. On the way to Charleston, I have my Spotify playing. I'm listening to my playlist. Every time I would skip a song or the song would end, it would go to, and I'm trying to look up the name of it now. It would go to this song that I had no idea what it was. It was by a band called, here it is. It's by a band called, I guess, Snack Pack. It's SNKPCK. And the song is called Will Smith is trying to eat soybeans in my bed.
What?
Yeah. I'm putting the cover art for the single in the text only chat for babies now. This is what kept popping up on my fucking Spotify every time I would change songs. Yeah.
Why? Why is there just a door in the middle of the sea?
Don't know.
And those dogs look so sad.
Don't know.
Well, you say dogs. That's clearly one dog twice.
He's duplicated. Yeah. Like the Olsen twins. Just moves really fast back and forth.
I feel like the torsos are
you can't convince me they're not.
Dog around the picture.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't think this is a real picture. I think this is photoshopped. Anyway.
What?
So,
no way.
And I'm not kidding you. Every time I changed songs, it would play this song over and over again to the point that I thought I was losing my goddamn mind. So
I'm sorry. Can I just hit you real quick with some other Snack Pack songs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I looked it up. There's here are some other singles by Snack Pack. It starts out pretty normal. Polaroid.
Okay.
Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
Kangaroos in space is a little like, oh, okay, you know, but whatever.
It's a little stranger.
Giraffes that have feelings.
That's just a name in our group chat. Giraffes that have feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A stormy night inside the castle. Not that weird.
That's a good one.
Then there's wow, that's really neat. I also like Ghost Toast.
Ghost Toast.
Chuck E. Cheese, I'm sick of you. And then Lindsay will appreciate that we're going to end on Charizard. Why you eating all my pancakes?
That was the first one. All right, so that was the first one that started playing, and it played over and over again. And I thought, I thought that so Spotify sometimes it has a thing called Smart Shuffle where it will play a song and then it will play a random song based on your likes. So I thought it was doing that, but it kept doing it, and eventually it started playing this Will Smith's eating soybeans in my bed thing. And I thought someone hacked my phone somehow. I thought I was losing my goddamn mind because it kept doing it over and over again. And I couldn't stop it. I thought that the guy behind me who had been following me all the way from like Chaffee had somehow hacked into my Bluetooth or something and was playing this song. So
he was sharing his Spotify.
Why did you have someone following you that far?
I think he was also going to Charleston, for the record. But the point is, so I turned the Bluetooth off in my car and I was like, okay, this will fix it. And I'm just going to listen to music on my phone. That worked for a little while and then it started doing it again. And now I'm freaked out because it keeps doing this and I don't know what's happening. I go in, I do my speech.
Really?
The speech went great. It was an honor. It was a lot of fun. I'm very thankful that Kyle invited me. Helping out with stuff like that and being able to talk to people is the best part of my day. I've said it a million times. I get back in my car. The first thing I do is call Jesse. And because Jesse is my IT guy, I trust him. And I say, Jesse, is there any chance someone has hacked into my phone? Because it keeps playing this same goddamn song over and over. And it's either someone's hacked my phone or I legitimately am haunted. The ghost of Pancake is in my phone, or Snack Pack, or whatever his name is. So Jesse tries to calm me down and tells me, no one's hacked your phone. Someone's probably messing with your Spotify. And I'm like, man, I don't know. This is weird. Like every time my song ends, it does it. I don't know what's happening. He's like, someone's in your Spotify. Don't worry. My first thought was it was an ex-girlfriend. Maybe an ex-girlfriend still had my Spotify login. I won't say which one. It's not the one you think. And I thought maybe she was messing with me. And Jesse said, did you leave your Spotify on at the store? I left the store early because I had to drive to Charleston for this speech. And I said, yes, I did. But like, I don't think anyone would mess with me. He says, well, I'm driving by your store now. I'm stopping to get pizza and I'll stop by and I'll check and see if someone's messing with it. I was okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I get in my car. I start driving. I put music on. It does it again. I go, okay, fuck this. I'm not driving 45 minutes without music. I'll just put YouTube on. So I put YouTube on. YouTube plays for about 10 seconds, and then it goes back to Spotify, and it goes back to Snack Pack, and it goes back to Will Smith eating soybeans in my fucking bed. At this point, I'm actually getting angry. I call the store. Ethan answers the phone, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, let me fill in this part. So I whenever Shannon calls me, like, I'm not kidding when I say, like, so me and Shelby had Papa John's for dinner. So I'm driving down Broadway, and I am literally, like, right in front of Gaming Grounds. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll run in. Like, so I parked, I go in. And Ethan sees me, he's like, oh, hey, Jesse, what's up? What are you doing? And I was like, oh, hey, man, I'm just, just stopping by for a second, just real quick. You fucking with Shannon's Spotify? And he starts immediately, like, chuckling. Like, he's losing his shit. He's like, yeah, I am.
Yeah. About that time, I called because I'm frustrated.
Yeah,
and Ethan answers the phone and can't contain his giggling for even one sentence.
Because he's still giggling from me asking. That's how you time that up. Like, I had just asked the boy.
Yeah.
So from the Genius description, by the way, the Genius lyrics, this is a direct quote. This album can be described as a form of internet meme called shitposting.
God damn. Shit posting the album.
Oh my god.
I love it.
That's basically what it is. It says, unlike most of Snack Pack's discography, Will Smith is trying to eat soybeans in my bed is special because of the intentional low quality to the songs, including personal references, degraded audio, and simple music formula.
Can confirm. Every time it played, I thought, okay, if this is Smart Shuffle, what have I listened to that made you think I want to fucking listen to this?
Shit, they gotta be your new favorite band. Did you see the title I just dropped in the text?
No, hold on.
That's one of their songs.
Shannon, you know what the worst part about this prank that Ethan played on you?
Yeah. That it was on me.
This is gonna be in your top 10 songs for the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to permanently fuck your algorithm.
No, I'll stab him if that happens. I told Ethan because Ethan asked me, he said, "Are you mad at me?" And I'm like, "I'm not mad at you.
I'm just disappointed."
This is legitimately one of the best pranks that has ever been pulled on me, admittedly. But I said, but just so you know, tomorrow I am going to fucking murder you. So, yes, great prank. Congratulations, Ethan. Not many people get one over on me, but you are going to die.
I found my two favorite, my final favorite songs of theirs. One of them is Skeletons. I
feel like this is an artist Shelby is really gonna like.
Their longest song title is "A Conversation Between a Cop Who Got His Donuts Stolen and the Guy Who Stole His Donuts." So that's Snack Pack.
This is what's the funniest thing. I'm pretty sure I've listened to most of those songs.
Because I feel like you mentioned the Kangaroo title before when we were doing like weird songs.
Doesn't
They
surprise
also
me.
have a song called "Late Night Pizza." So apparently they're right in your head, Shannon. There's dinosaurs, aliens, and pizza. There's late night pizza, and then in all caps, there's "Put my pizza in the oven."
Look, it's a good band, admittedly. Okay, you got me there. So yes, Ethan, congratulations. Round of applause for Ethan Craig Miles for putting one over on me. Good job. Good job. Okay, now that fun shit's out of the way, let's talk a little bit. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about the Ghostbusters trailer, Hunter.
Please.
Objectively, because I'm trying to look at this through, like we do on Extras and Epilogues, too often I look at things with kind of nostalgic glasses. I'm a little kinder to the films than you are. You are much more objective when it comes to these films. So I tried to look at this trailer.
I'd say it looked fucking awesome.
All right, well, she ruined the fucking joke. Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and kick her. So there she goes. About tired of her taking the joke from me before I can get the joke out. Hopefully,
he actually did kick her from the Discord.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he booted her out.
Hopefully, she'll be back any second.
And she may not realize that she's gone.
No.
Oh,
there it is. Okay, she's back. Welcome back.
It's the reveal of the face when,
it's the angry face.
Know it's gonna be bad, and so it's just this, and then eventually you see.
Coming down there.
Yeah, Lindsay's okay. That joke's over. She's right. It looked fucking awesome. It looked amazing.
It really does. It really does.
Top to bottom.
The trailer from Kumail Nanjiani today, right?
What's that?
You saw the thing from Kumail Nanjiani today, right?
About the real Ghostbusters.
So the timing was so fucking convenient. So I didn't even think about it when the actor strike, which is now officially over, I think, as of like midnight going into today, if I remember correctly,
on hold.
Well, yeah, but it's coming to an end. Like that's the thing. They're wrapping it up, so they can actually start talking about shit again. And Kumail confirmed that it is basically, he's like, look, if you loved the real Ghostbusters like I did when I was younger, and you watched this and you were like, oh, this looks like an episode of the real Ghostbusters, but real live action, like, yeah, that's what we were going for. So you're gonna freaking love it, and which is great. It's like a brand new villain.
Yes,
it looks like new equipment. Like it's just that's exactly what I'm looking for.
It's back
exactly what I wanted.
It's back in New York. We've got we got a lot of great things from the trailer, including the firehouse, obviously. Winston Zeddemore suited up. Vakeman looks like he's suited up, but he doesn't have his proton pack with him. I'm legitimately happy they brought back the entire cast from Afterlife. Yes. I really like those kids, so I'm really happy. And not just that, Carrie Coons is back as the mother. Paul Rudd is obviously back.
She's leading the charge in that scene where they're coming out of the elevator.
When she is in full Ghostbusters gear, my heart swooned. Crush that crush button for Carrie Coons.
I also really like that the first comment I saw in any of the trailers was somebody going, everyone for the past 2 or 3 years, give us a new villain in the next movie. These guys. All right, here you go. Everyone watching the trailer. But where can I get that jacket?
Yes.
Can I get a jacket? Where can I get the jacket?
Oh my God, the red jacket looks so incredible. That was so Hunter couldn't watch the trailer as fast as me because he was at work.
15 minutes.
Yeah, he had to wait 15 minutes. And I wanted so bad to talk to him about the jacket, but I didn't want to ruin anything from the trailer for him. So I kept it all quiet. And without saying anything, the first thing he talked about with me was the jacket. And I'm like, yep, okay. We're on the same wavelength. Yeah.
So because cosplayers are what they are, especially Ghostbusters ones who are very good about looking at, a still of a screenshot and going, oh, that's a Clippard valve. You can get those at any Home Depot for 89 cents and put it on your pack. They also quickly identified all the stuff, including the jacket. Apparently, if you want a screen accurate jacket, they are pretty sure that those bad boys, and I forget where they are now, I'd have to go look up the brand, they're $1,700.
Oh,
they are Arctic winter. They're legitimate climbing gear jackets.
That makes sense with the storyline.
I guess it makes sense.
Already people are looking into no, there's going to be knockoff. Even if they don't make a knockoff, there's going to be knockoffs. The patches really haven't changed. You get the jacket, you get a patch, you put it on, you're good to go. So
I think,
but yeah, they look freaking great.
I think they're going to kill somebody off in this movie again. I do.
And why is it Venkman?
It's yeah.
Well, because Bill Murray does not want to be in these movies anymore.
Yeah, but he keeps signing on for him. God bless him.
Yeah.
He'll come in and do his part, but I think Venkman will die in this one. And there is a part in the trailer where I believe I want to say it's Lucky, right? Where
gets frozen over.
Yeah, Stance is talking about how you die, and then she looks exactly like that. And I'm like, they're not going to kill Lucky, are they? That would be shitty. Don't kill Lucky. I like Lucky.
I wouldn't think so. I don't think it'll be one of the kids, but I do think that Venkman is not long for this world if any of them are not going to make it.
And let me be the first to say, good. All I need is Stance and Zeddemore. I don't need Venkman. I needed Spangler. But I can't help that anymore,
It's one of the things I love about Spirits Unleashed is that when you're running around in the game, they're the only two. Ray's across the street and Winston's in the firehouse.
Venkman really has no place in there anymore. He just doesn't.
No, he's long since done.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this trailer is the last shot, because when they first announced, I distinctly remember seeing the video that Paul Rudd himself shot, that when they first announced him as part of Afterlife, he's on the streets of New York City. He's doing a selfie video. He's like, hey, I'm just walking around. And then he pans behind him and it's Hook and Ladder 8. And I was like, oh shit. And that's when COVID hit. And of course, everything got shut down. The last shot of this trailer with him and the kids and everybody all suited up, he's literally in the lead and he just goes, oh, done. I was it. Paul Rudd is legitimately my favorite working actor and has been for a long time. And to see him doing that in a Ghostbusters movie, that's just too much, man.
My message to Shannon with that,
I was about to say, it was accurate.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Was just Paul Rudd basically doing the noise that every single Ghostbusters fan made at the end of that trailer.
That is 100% true.
And the first two additions to the cast that we know of could not have been better options. Kumail Nanjiani, Patton Oswalt.
Oh, you had me right there.
They're both super excited.
I love both of those people.
Yeah.
I've talked about it a couple of times, Max Landis' treatment for what would have been Ghostbusters 3, and then Sony ended up going with Paul Feig to do what they did in 2016 instead. Two of the people that he specifically mentioned he wanted in that movie, Kumail Nanjiani, Patton Oswalt.
Yep.
And very similar roles for what it seems like they're in the trailer, too, where they're customary, assistants, basically. They're working with the team.
I love both of those guys. I love that there's 20 Ghostbusters now. I think the one that surprised me the most was Finn Wolfhard. I remember they were talking about him potentially not returning.
Not coming back.
Yeah,
right.
So I'm super happy he's back too. Again, I'm just so happy that the cast is back together. It feels like Ghostbusters 2. We've skipped over Hunter. It's Ghostbusters 2. We've skipped over the intros. We know who everybody is. We know what there is. Right. Now we can get to the fun stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And hopefully what happens this time is that this one obviously first has to turn out great, which it looks like it's going to. And then when it comes time to do a third, we can get a proper third without having to go through all these little back channels of
30 years and shit.
And start it over again, like get an actual, continuation. God, I also really want a TV series, but I'm thinking too much now. I'm too far ahead.
I'm just happy that this is coming out, and I truly believe. I think this one's going to do. My mom would have said it's going to do gangbusters. I think this is going to do great at the box office because that trailer was super exciting. It hit on all the things I think people want. To me, that trailer was better than the Afterlife trailer. I liked the Afterlife trailer. It's a great trailer. The villain looks amazing. They're not just rehashing an old villain. It's not Vigo the Carpathian, although I would have been fine with that personally. But
there is I don't want to call it a rumor because it's not really that, but there is some speculation that this villain is not completely 100% new, only because it looks like a similar one in the IDW comics. Gozer,
but it's not Gozer, right?
No, it's not Gozer.
Right.
It's been a while since I've read. I keep pointing behind me because they're all three on the shelf behind me. There's the big compendiums anyway. There's Gozer basically has like heralds and like people who are kind of like underneath them, like working toward their eventual build back up. Gozer's like step below old gods basically, and so this one was one that was capable of doing similar stuff. The ice stuff, there were like some kind of like spectral daggers involved or something, and it was very similar to what they're seeing here. So they're like, at the very least, they may have taken inspiration from that.
There's
thing.
Did you see a part in the trailer? I had to watch the trailer. I had to watch the trailer 60 times, and on the second time, did you notice the part where the ghost? I thought he was hooking something electrical into his head, but it almost looks like he's hooking horns.
That's a horn.
Yeah,
that's a demon. Yeah, that's like how he's literally plugging them inside of his head.
Holy smokes! And there was one other like little like trivia thing that I was like, oh wow, that looks really cool, and for the life of me, I can't remember it now, but. Yeah,
the equipment changes because they changed the packs up a little bit,
which is good. I think.
There's they're more hazard like. They've got more of the black and yellow striping on the actual packs themselves. The bumper that runs around the bottom. I can't pick that up. That's way too heavy. My pack is like right off to my side. But the bumper that runs around the bottom is, instead of black, it's like yellow now to distinguish it from it.
What a great world we live in when Hunter and I can each say legitimately right now is like, oh yeah, my proton pack's beside me, because my proton pack is right over here beside me as well. Jesse's sad he ain't got no proton pack.
Jesse, I have 2 spirit packs. You're welcome to them. I got Haslab ones now. It's so good.
I've got my Spangler neutron one back there somewhere in my Ghostbuster section.
Where's mine? Where's one of mine? That's one of the two.
that was the other thing. Isn't William Atherton supposed to be in this as well? Lindsay's got the Tobin Spirit Guide right there.
Yeah, it's right in the middle there.
Yeah,
I got it.
Isn't Atherton supposed to be back as Walter Peck in this, or am I dreaming?
I think that was rumored, but I don't know that they confirmed that.
I hope he is. I really hope he is.
I do too, but I would be surprised if they talk about that up front. I feel like that's going to be like a surprise cameo kind of thing.
Yeah. 100% agreed. And I'm so excited. And it's not coming out a year from now. I'm
spring.
You mentioned COVID earlier with Afterlife, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually very happy that they delayed it, because Afterlife was legitimately coming out right after my breakup, and I was in no mood to watch Ghostbusters at that point. So the fact that they delayed it a little bit, I got to watch it and have fun and cry a lot. Hopefully I won't cry at this one. If Venkman dies in this one and everyone looks to me for tears, I'm just going to be like, nah, I'm good. And just keep watching it. Personal grudge against Bill Murray.
Give him the Terminator thumbs up.
All right, let's get to the topic of the night, the top 5. We're drafting again. Hunter, once again, for people that might be new to the show, explain how this works.
All right, so we started on the last show, and maybe just for November, maybe in the future too, we'll see what happens. But we're doing draft lists, so instead of just top 5 lists, and we have a comprehensive list at the end from everybody. Basically what we're doing is a snake style draft. So whoever goes last in the first round goes first in the second round. That way they get 2 picks in a row. And the idea is that you complete your own list of 5 when it's done. So we have a comprehensive list, but you have your own sort of team as well that we can talk about along the way. And when it's done, and then hopefully we'll have you guys, comment on our list. If not vote, we didn't realize that Facebook polls are apparently a pain in the ass now. But give you a chance to look at ours and to make your own and to comment over at our Facebook page. Is it still Facebook.com/Podzilla1985. That didn't change, right?
No, it's still that. It's still that.
Yeah. It's still there. It's still good.
It's still good.
Lindsay, you tell them about the topic. I'll leave that to you.
Tonight we are doing Disney villains. Requirements are they must be from animated films, be it Disney or Pixar, and I am also allowing for henchmen. It doesn't have to just be the big baddies.
Yeah.
Well, you just got me my number 2 then.
In terms of the order, I'm going to post it right now. I screenshotted it. So it does have me going first.
God
which
damn
is
it.
Sometimes nice,
God
but sometimes
damn
not.
it.
The exact same spot I was last week.
God.
Well, Shannon, here's the good thing. Going last again means that you get to go twice in a row. So
assuming no one takes.
Okay,
okay, but here's the thing: if fucking Kimball takes my number 1 pick, I'm gonna stab him and Ethan. I'm gonna pile these fuckers up.
Apparently, I'm gonna be on that pile also. Because every time we were at Walmart, he's like, "I'm gonna murder you."
I'm in a mood tonight. I told Lindsay, I said, I'm surprised you got this far in life without someone murdering you. Which might have been
Walmart.
Might have been one of the weirdest things I've ever said to anybody in public, but you know. Okay. Well, all right, Hunter, take it away. I'll let you handle this.
Yeah, so I'm picking first, but that doesn't, that could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. For me, it's good, definitely in the sense that there was really only one guy here that I really, really wanted. I guess that gives part of it away. Who I think is legitimately one of the best Disney villains of all time. It's also a personal pick. I'm going to start things off with the sorcerer himself, Jafar from Aladdin. Jafar is easily far and above my favorite Disney villain of all time. He is, I think, always in that upper pantheon of Disney villains. It's a great movie. He's scary. He's twisted. He's funny at the same time, too. I think Jafar is literally, for me, everything that a Disney villain should be.
I did predict that he would be first round of picks. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was no way that he was going past that. Aladdin is easily my favorite Disney movie, and again, I think that in this time, this is one of those times where I feel justified picking a personal pick, but also one that I think really fits the overall theme. Jafar for me will always be. He's got great songs too, man. When I was my first year at Southeast, when I was in college, I was a vocal performance major before I switched over to Mass Comm and went down the radio track. And when we did juries, which I had to do twice because they were at the end of each semester, we were expected to prepare a certain number of songs from different genres. There was always, you were expected to have a foreign language piece and a couple of things. And then there was always an open category for, like, they didn't call it the fun one, but that's what it was. Like, it was expected to be show tunes and that kind of stuff. And I regularly did stuff from Aladdin for that. So his reprise of Prince Ali was really fun. I did do Friend Like Me as well, but Jafar just has a really just cool overall setup. Yeah, it's Jafar number 1 for me, no question about it.
He turns into a big fucking snake.
Turns into a big fucking genie too, right?
And only beaten by the live action version of him, which I thought was better. We fight about this. I'm going to be honest with you. I only saw that movie once, and I legitimately just don't remember enough about it. So the only reason I say that
was another thing that didn't settle with me. I always thought that the animated one was so cool, and I guess the live action one didn't really have an impact on me.
I loved the live action one. I loved that Jafar. I think his character was just a little bit more defined in the live action. He wasn't just a power hungry monster. He legitimately wanted what was best for the kingdom, and he thought he was the one that would do it. So I thought it added a little bit of nuance to him, as opposed to me just want power. But I agree with you otherwise. Jafar, whether it's animated or live action, is fucking epic. I mean, dude's he's God tier, and then he actually becomes God tier, and that's what fucks him over.
Literally. Yeah. All right, Shelby, you're up next.
Struggled with who I was going to pick as my number 1.
Don't pick mine.
I settled with Ursula.
Oh, thank God.
That's a good choice.
I'm sweating this whole time.
That's a good choice.
Another one I figured would be in the top 5. So
that was one of the main reasons I had to get her out quick. I'm really hoping my second one doesn't go, because that one is also really, really.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know. I hope I picked right.
I have all but 2 of yours listed, but
what specifically about Ursula has you to pick her, Shelby?
She was based on Divine.
Yeah, I'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah.
That's really all you need, right
Carol
there.
was amazing performing as her.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Powerful female character. Most other
Yeah.
characters in these series, especially just Ariel from that same movie, like they
Yeah.
need someone to help them get what they want. But
Yeah,
Ursula
and she uses
just
that power to pick on a girl. That's good.
I mean, that's
Women
the thing.
supporting women.
And her monster
No, we
scene,
tear each other down popularly.
famously, even, her scene at the end when she goes like huge monster form is still like one of the most legitimately terrifying things I remember as a child.
Yeah, that was pretty
Oh yeah.
scary.
Like that whole fucking scene, like with the drowning and the everything, it was bad.
Yeah, no,
The electrified
Well,
skeleton.
and shoot, I can't remember the other movie right now, but The Princess and the Frog is kind of one of them. But like, there was so much water in those movies that it was a semi-horror movie.
All right, Jesse, you're square in the middle this time around. What do you got?
All right, I'm gonna take Hades off the board.
Oh,
Yep, that
Okay.
was my number 2 pick.
So for the record, that was in my top 5, but he didn't pick my number 1. Thank God.
Yeah,
You're
Hades
safe,
is
Shannon.
just-
I'm not picking yours.
Thank you.
Hercules is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. Like, I have a few of them. Goofy movies, obviously the best Disney movie from me, but it doesn't really have like a villain.
Puberty.
Oh, do what?
Puberty.
Max is his own villain.
Yeah.
That is a bitch.
Yeah, but anyway, Hades, like that. Hercules is a phenomenal movie. Hades is a great villain.
Yes.
He's a villain you love to hate because he keeps doing shit that makes you angry, and then he gets his just desserts at the end, and that's just
And
it's from beginning to end. It's a great
voiced-
villain story.
James
voiced by
Woods.
James Woods.
Back
who's
before-
incredible
Voiced by
in
James
the whole
Woods.
thing.
Lord of the
Back
Dead, how you
before
doing?
James Woods went batshit insane. This was
It's not
the
like that. Oh, he's a guy. Like that's just such a good.
that legitimately was the only reason Hades was on my list, was because it was James Woods and he was so good in that role. Yeah.
And he's
I
returned to
just
voice
love
him
all the
for
Family Guy
everything.
bits with James
yeah,
Woods.
he's really good.
Imagine being a brown person on a plane and James Woods tells the stewardess about you. Like, what an honor.
Oh. All right, Lindsay, your first pick, round 1.
Well, for me, it should be blatantly obvious. It's the mistress of all evil, Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Of course.
Yes, Maleficent. Which,
Yeah,
amazingly, I bought a villain's blind bag box from Five Below, and she happened to be the one I opened up. So I'm like, yes, luck. But no, Sleeping Beauty is like my favorite Disney film as it is. And like, she's just the iconic Disney villain. She's just
Yeah, when
her
you
mere
think
presence.
Disney villains, like, yeah, that's who comes to mind
Yeah.
immediately.
Right. Top of the crop for sure.
Yeah.
It's her and the Snow White, the evil queen. I guess
It's
for
the
the
same
longest
woman.
time I didn't. Yeah, for the longest time I just thought they were the same person. I really legitimately did not make a distinction.
They're
And then
very
I
much
realized
the same
evil one doesn't have a
archetype.
name. Yeah, she's just the evil queen.
She
I
does.
was like, oh.
It's Queen Grimhilda.
Well, we'll just
That
call
is
her
a
the
movie
queen.
from
We'll just call her the
Grimm's
queen.
version of the
It's
story.
not in the movie, but it is in the
Okay, then
notes
she doesn't
for
have
the
a name.
film. It's Queen Grimhilda.
I don't want to have to do the unassigned reading to know. I'm
It's
not
not
looking
important
at
to the
the
story.
extended universe to find out. All right, Shannon. So you're at the end of round 1, which means you
thank
get 2 picks.
God.
2
And I
picks in
got
a row.
I've
End
got
round
the
1, start round 2.
I've got the 2 best picks, and just like last week where I claimed victory without putting it up to a vote because I do run a dictatorship, I claim victory again because I have the best 2 picks, and the number 1 pick, by far the best Disney villain, both in style, class, and voice, is
Can I guess who you're going to pick?
you're going to get it
Yeah,
right.
I
Go
know
ahead,
exactly
tell
who
them.
it is.
Yeah, it's Dr. Facilier.
It's Dr.
Dr.
Facilier. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because he was actually... He does, because he has legitimately one of my favorite songs
Yes,
in all
yes.
of his...
Friends on the other side. Y'all,
Friends
so
on the other side.
good.
it's the
You
best.
do have a soul, don't you, Lawrence?
That's on my playlist, like on my basic Spotify playlist, not on a special Disney playlist. That song's just in my playlist because it's that good. And it's Keith David. It's Keith David. Like,
I bought
he was
the
in my
Battle
top five,
Pass of
for
Call
sure.
of Duty, the last Battle Pass of Call of Duty, because I knew I could get Keith David
yeah,
in Modern Warfare 3. He was going to carry over.
I'm a huge Keith David fan in general. I'm a huge Keith David fan. I think it started with They Live Hunter, with that iconic fight scene between him and Roddy Piper. And when I'm not, first full stop, I'll admit I'm not a Disney person. I don't watch a lot of Disney films. I don't obsess over it like Lindsay does. But Dr. Facilier is one of those guys that I was like, I'm all in. I'm all in, man. The dancing, the voodoo stuff, like everything about him is cool. I think he's the best villain. Like, his story was a little weak, sure, but like, he as a character cannot be beat.
Fantastic character.
Yes.
He's a good choice, for sure.
And my second pick, the other best character in the Disney universe, and thank God Lindsay said we could do Henchman. That extended my list. Because number 2 is fucking Iago from Aladdin.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love the
He
That
was
is a
on
great
my
pick.
short list the moment that she mentioned Henchman, because I was like, well, if I can't get Jafar,
Yeah.
I'll get
You can
I'll
do
get
Iago.
Iago.
That, again, you talk about a reason I watched a movie. Gilbert Gottfried as Iago?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like,
Because
iconic.
of that movie,
Jafar!
that was one of the first impressions that I learned how to do.
Yes,
We
same.
got a big problem here, a big problem. Like, it was just, I'm terrible at it now, but as a kid, I could do that really high register, and oh my god, I love it. It was so
Look at this
good.
picture. I'm making a
What
weird
are you
face.
looking at?
Yeah, what a weird character. Gilbert Gottfried as a parrot. Like, oh,
Boy, did it work.
So good though.
I can't.
So
It really
excellent.
is.
That is the only part of the live action remake that I hated compared to the animated movie, because in the live action one, you may not remember, one, he was voiced by Alan Tudyk, which is fantastic because Alan Tudyk is fantastic, but they made him an actual parrot where he could only repeat things people said. Completely
This is the
neutered his
problem with
personality.
All the live action Disney shit, every time that they replace an animated animal with a real fucking it never works.
No.
That's why The Lion King was so bad. It never, ever, ever works.
You mean Lion King that won for
really.
best anime, or well, no, they called it a live action film despite the fact it was 100% CG.
Right, completely created by computer.
But yeah, it's Iago. Thank you. I will take the victory. I don't even have to read the rest of my list. It's done. It's over.
Well, perhaps the listeners would like to see it this time. I've sent you the screenshot no fewer than 3 times.
And I'm
since
going to get
last
around
week,
to it.
Yeah, I'm on it.
And I'm going to get around to it.
I mean, at least we posted the episode.
Yeah,
It's true.
I'll get it done.
That's true.
Let's move on, though.
All right,
Looks like
Lindsay,
we
your
know
second
it.
pick.
Well, I have my obvious leader for round 1. So round 2, I'm going with the wild card of my group, which is going to be the Mad Madam Mim from Sword in the Stone.
Wow,
Where
card.
it's just this
Right.
psychotic little witch that likes to torment people and transform into many, many things.
I think you've offended Bean because Bean is now walking toward me. Hello. Good to see you.
I love Madam Mim.
Oh, it is just Madam. I thought it was Madame.
Yep,
It is Madam.
it's
Mim.
Mad
I looked
Madam
it up to
Mim.
make sure I spelled it right. Yeah.
Just a grouchy old witch.
I often forget about her as a villain. Like, I don't really, I mean, she's totally a villain. It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't register with me that way. When I think of her, I think of that little duel, and it's
Yep, the
like,
Wizard's
As
Duel.
an,
That's
as
awesome.
an adult, when I think of the Wizard's Duel, I'm like, just kiss already.
Yeah.
Just
kiss.
Get it over. Like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, do the thing. But now I'm just like, just make out.
Oh my
Just get it
god.
over with.
Guess who just jumped up on my desk? Kitty, no.
Bean.
No.
Is that your outside cat?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or more
No.
outside?
All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to put her
He
back.
wants to be part of it.
I'm going to put her back in her roost real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, no, you're not. Yeah. You're good. You're good. Jesse, let's move on to Jesse.
Onward.
Okay. I'm going to go with the originator, the beacon of toxic masculinity himself, Gaston.
Oh, well, no one does so many things like Gaston.
He eats
Jesse.
4 dozen eggs a day.
Nobody sexually assaults like Gaston.
I distinctly
Nobody gets
remember,
me too'd like Gaston.
back when like impact font memes were the thing and they were first coming up and people started using screenshots and stuff. It was just so many things layered over that screenshot of him holding up the book in the town square like sideways trying to look at it. And I think my favorite one was there's nothing about the shades of gray in here. It's just porn. Like, that just stuck with me.
It's
It had
fine.
nothing to do with Gaston other than the fact that he's in the picture, but
Okay, I missed. Who did
That
Jesse
is
pick?
wonderful. Gaston.
Jesse, no one picks Gaston like Jesse. Anyway, that's who it was.
Dalton is
Gaston.
happy somewhere. Yeah.
He is. Dalton famously played Gaston in a play in high school as for Beauty and the Beast. He was Gaston.
Before he had any muscle. So great acting.
That's true. That's why he had to act. He had
That's
to really
why-
put on the show.
He had to pretend he had muscles.
Yeah, Gaston was also on my not even my short list. He was pretty far up there. He was definitely gonna make the list somewhere along the way. All right, Shelby, you're up.
I'm gonna go with another mad scientist character,
Oh, I know what this is.
Yzma.
Yeah,
Yes. Why do we have that lever?
Her screaming Kronk's name. Kronk!
That was correct me if I'm wrong, Eartha Kitt. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Kit.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And if I remember correctly, like Lindsay said earlier, of who was it you were talking about? Returned like James Woods played Hades and everything. Pretty sure Eartha Kitt returned to play Yzma like pretty much every time they needed her to do that.
Well, I know that. Who played Kronk? I always forget his real name. It's
Patrick
Putty.
Warburton.
Oh,
Patrick Warburton. There it is.
Patrick Warburton,
Yeah. I just call him Putty.
The boys,
Yeah.
Cusco,
Yeah.
Cusco's point.
Terrifying beyond all reason. Yep.
I miss that voice. That's a good voice. Yeah.
Always fucking prepared too. Like, did you see that cellar she had of just potions going all the way down? She was good.
Literally, the
Fight a
best
war
villain
on
if she could just get her shit organized. Like, give her
Yeah.
organize your shit, and you
Quit letting your henchmen label your stuff. That's the problem.
Shannon, if
I mean, in
You guys
fairness, he
listened
didn't
to-
label it. He just, the label was a little loose.
it's true.
Oh.
It's a
You like
little
listening
loose.
to
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton, by the way. I know you've never really watched much of Seinfeld, but him on Seinfeld, just as a quick
No.
deviation.
All right. So, really quick, before you say it, I just want to say I did watch a lot of Seinfeld. I didn't watch it religiously, but I did watch a lot of it, and he was my favorite character on it. He was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just they would cut to him, and somebody would be calling him on the phone, and he would literally just be staring at the wall. And he would pick up the phone without looking and go, "Yeah, what do you want?" Like, it's just the most deadpan.
Patrick Warburton is frequently the best part of things that he's in.
He really is.
The Tick.
Yeah, it's
The
phenomenal.
short-lived live-action Tick.
Oh my
Great,
gosh.
he delivers
Yeah.
those lines.
Mhm. He was also the best part of the Venture Brothers. He was.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It
There was
wasn't
that awful
Dean.
fucking sitcom he was in with David Spade.
Doesn't matter. Patrick Warburton was in it. That's all that matters. Yeah.
I literally I watched the entire first season of that awful fucking show. I think it was Entourage, maybe. No, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, Hunter, you remember that famous HBO show Entourage starring David Spade as
What the fuck was the name of that show? It is David
seems right.
Spade and Patrick
That
Warburton.
seems right. Yeah.
I have no idea what the two of them were in.
Entourage.
simultaneously. I really
Probably
can't
the
think.
unemployment line.
Man,
Rules of
over the
Engagement,
summer.
maybe? Is that what this is?
I don't. Sure.
Yes, Rules of Engagement.
Yeah.
Awful show. Had David Spade and Patrick Warburton starring in it. Watched it because of Patrick Warburton.
Left because of David Spade.
I started
David
listening
Spade
to
wasn't
David
even the
Spade
worst part.
and Dana Carvey's podcast over the summer, and I got about 3 episodes in and went, I can't do this. And weirdly enough, as much as I love Dana Carvey, he's the worst part. David Spade is more tolerable than him on a podcast.
Well, I think that's because
Dana Carvey,
David Spade is like, if you ever listen to interviews with him, he's pretty well spoken and witty. He legitimately. Dana Carvey's Dana Carvey.
just. Well, he talks over people constantly. I don't know. It's weird. All right. I'm going to end out round 2, and I get to start round 3. And I absolutely cannot believe that my second pick got taken, but my third pick didn't. So he's going to be my second one. How we got this deep in and Scar hasn't been taken, I don't know.
Damn
He's
it.
coming off the list right now.
Right? I was
Yeah.
assuming he'd be in the top 5.
You got my number
you
3,
guys
Hunter.
want to talk about
You got my number 3.
First of all, a great character. To me, goes right in line with Jafar. Like, these are the kinds of characters I like: the scheming, the plotting, the behind the scenes, stab you in the back to get whatever they want. and it's oh god, it's not Jeremy Irons.
It is.
It's,
No, it is.
or it is Jeremy Irons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking it was a different voice.
You were thinking
Jeremy Irons with a little bit of cleanup by Jim Cummings here and there because Irons was having some voice issues.
You were thinking Jeremy's Iron.
Jeremy's Iron. That's exactly what it was. I kept thinking that can't be right because if I say it, then Shannon's going to give me a ball and see how many times I can bounce it.
Oh, I got away from you, Hunter. Try again.
Whenever we were talking about this, like me and Shelby were preparing for the show, she mentioned like her first two picks. She was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to go with Yzma or Scar." Like I think I leaned towards Yzma, and then she threw out Ursula as her first pick. I was like, "Hold on."
It's a fantastic pick, but yeah, it blows my mind that we got this far into the deal without Scar on there. Scar is.
I'm also very surprised by that.
I didn't think I was as big a fan of The Lion King as I was when I was a kid for the longest time. For me, Aladdin was the Disney movie, and that was it. But as I got older and I started, there were a few times that I babysat my nieces. No, not nieces, cousins. My cousins who were about 3 or 4 years younger than me, both girls. They were really excited to watch The Lion King, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. I was trying to get too old for it. But I remember just really loving that "Long Live the King." And as soon as he just nicks his hand, like, oh, it's so evil. It's just so evil.
Well, it's Jeremy Irons, man. I mean, it's like he's like Keith David to me. It's like just an iconic voice. That's the thing with people like Gaston. I think Gaston's a great character, but he lacks that voice of a Jeremy Irons or a Jeremy Irons. I almost said Jeremy's Iron. I tried to stop myself. Or Keith David.
But yeah, no, that was and Be Prepared, another song that I prepared ironically when I was in the vocal performance department. Oh man, that low growl, like, so a lot of that song is like spoken sung in the movie, but if you have it prepared as an actual musical bit, it's very it's fun to sing.
It's tasty.
Yeah. All right, so then I also get to start round 3, and this is where I really have a tough time deciding because basically all of my main choices have either been picked by me or other people. So I'm down to, I don't want to say down to like the a lot of good choices left.
Scraping the barrel now.
Well, no. There's a lot of good choices. It's just I got to decide where to start and whom to go with. I feel like that would be too unorthodox. I'm going to take one that I'm afraid is going to get taken by somebody else. I think that's probably in my best interest, and that's going to be King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Turbo.
/ Turbo. King Candy,
a.k.a. Alan Tudyk.
Terrifying. Yes, Alan Tudyk again, and legitimately just like scary. This is one of those Disney reveals that when you figure out who the bad guy is, like, and he just starts kind of breaking down, it's scary. Like, even, I mean, the first time I saw this movie was came out surely not 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago?
Feel old,
Sometime in the past decade.
Hang on. I got you.
And
2012.
Okay, so I'm at that time, I'm in my late 20s. It's still scary. Like, it's still freaking me out. I have a thing of, and I talked about this, I think, back, Shannon, when we talked about The Thing with Steven on Extras and Epilogues. Like, when shit that looks normal starts breaking down in
that's
ways
when
that
you
it
lose
seems
it.
like it can't control.
That's your thing. That's your button.
Too much for me.
Right.
Yep. And this is why the honeybees freaks me out in Fallout 76. I love bees. I don't love bees that are bigger than me and crawling around on the ground.
With honeycombs on their back. It's weird. And Alan Tudyk, again, this is why I hated that they put him as Iago in the Aladdin live action remake and didn't let him be Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk is so talented.
He's so talented, both in horror and as a voice actor and as an actor in general. He's a national treasure. Watch Resident Alien if you haven't. I don't watch a lot of TV, and I haven't watched it, but I'm sure it's good.
All right, Shelby, you were the round 3 pick.
The Horned King from the Black Cauldron.
Truly terrifying.
Yeah,
Ooh,
absolutely
that's a deep cut.
Terrifying.
That is a deep cut.
As a kid, whenever I watched this, I went, I will never watch this again because of that character. And I don't think I actually ever did watch it again. I probably need to rewatch it at some point. Like, that scarred me so bad. I was just like, nope.
If I remember correctly, Lindsay might be able to help me on this. It's Tokyo Disney, or it's one of the Asian Disney parks has a ride based on the Black Cauldron.
It's not based on it. So
Or
their
it has elements of it.
their haunted mansion is, I think it's China. Their haunted mansion is, no, theirs isn't actually haunted. It might be Tokyo. There is one of the haunted mansions that's set up that has like Disney villains that have taken over it, and the Horn King is one of the ones that's in there.
If I had to guess, Shannon, you might be able to remind me on this. It's China, not. It's probably China, not Tokyo, because isn't China's thing like they revere ghosts differently, or is that
No,
Japanese?
that's why
I can't
theirs is
remember.
different. Theirs isn't. Their haunted mansion isn't scary. Theirs, it's like a fortune ghost that's in there, and it's very upbeat
Right.
and spooky
It's a happy
and
ghost.
stuff that
He's
way.
happy to be dead. Like,
He's
you
having
know.
a good time.
Yeah. Now kill your
Just hanging
family,
out.
and I'll give you a drink.
I give you a beer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I remember there being a particularly scary ride that included that character in it. Okay, all right, Jesse, you're up. Round 3.
All right. I
Yeah.
feel like he should be able to wait. Like I should be able to wait longer on this one, but I just really want him on there. We were talking about him earlier with Yzma. Kronk.
Oh yeah,
Cronky.
Kronk. Of course.
Yeah,
and
weird.
all-star like set of performance, like vocal performances, and just phenomenal characters in a movie.
Yeah.
Kronk still manages to top out the list for me.
Oh
I
yeah, no,
love
hands
that
down.
character.
Yeah, I think
Is he
legitimately
making
the
his
only reason
own
I
theme
didn't-
music?
I think the only reason I didn't think to put him on my short list is because he doesn't feel like a villain. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
never think of
well,
him as a
then-
bad guy.
But he technically
Because
is.
yeah,
He's totally a bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but at the same time, yeah, he's a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy.
He's just a,
Thanks,
he's
Zangief.
a young guy in a weird place.
I fucking love Kronk. He's doing his best. He's the only reason Yzma didn't take over the fucking world.
Seriously.
If they showed all the characters from that movie the way they did those Pokemon, it would be, what's Kronk doing? His best.
His
Like,
best.
He's just getting by, man.
Oh, it's so good. And there are so many good voice actors. There's so many great performances, and it's a phenomenal movie. Another one of just my favorite all-time Disney movies. And yeah, just Kronk is so fantastic.
Hell yeah. Lindsay, you're
Brother,
up.
brother.
Round 3.
Well, round 3, I think I need to add a little more drama to my group, so I'm going to take Mother Gothel.
Oh, I was
Taro.
going to do that one. That's a good one. That's a good
Yep,
one.
she's also on my list. The gaslighting queen herself.
Seriously.
That's why women
her
can't
whole
have
thing.
nice things.
God forbid a woman do anything.
Yes, thank you.
I will say I do greatly love the fan theory that she is Meg after being scorned too many times.
She kind of looks like her.
Wait, what?
There is
This
a
is the
fan
first time I'm
theory out
hearing
there. There's a fan theory out there that like after stuff goes wrong. So if you go with the actual mythology of Hercules, take that as the continuation from the film per se. He ends up like
Right.
murdering all of his and Meg's kids. She says,
Right.
forget it, travels off somewhere else, becomes an older woman, and then she finds this magical flower because she's already kind of dabbled in stuff a little bit, having like dealt with gods and whatnot. And so there's a
Right.
fan theory that she is Mother Gothel.
Shit. Ooh. Like that. That's good.
Yeah.
I could get down on that. That's the first time I'm hearing this.
Get down, do
Yeah,
you?
that movie came out. About it, tell me. That movie came out at the best time in history for her to be that kind of villain, because this was around the time that we really started becoming more publicly conscious, legitimately of like gaslighting as a concept and convincing
Mhm.
people that they're crazy, they're the crazy ones and all that. So yeah, a very timely villain. All right, Shannon.
I
round
also
out
am now
round 3.
realizing that everyone on my list starts with the letter M.
Oh, there you go. Now you got a theme. See, this is the thing we should have been doing along the way. I actually, this is a good time to wrap this up. Coming up with the themes of these teams, if we can, by the end. So, just a quick catch up here at the end of round 3, and then Shannon will do his round 3 and 4. Currently, I have Jafar from Aladdin, Scar from The Lion King, and King Candy / Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph. Shelby has Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, and the Horned King from The Black Cauldron. Jesse has Hades from Hercules, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. You got a bunch of strong boys in there. Lindsay has Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, Madame Mim from The Sword and the Stone. I wanted to say Madame. I don't know why. And Mother Gothel from Tangled. And Shannon has Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog, Iago from Aladdin, and...
Fans, if you're listening, it's okay to just declare me the winner after listening to the first two.
He says it every time.
Well, I'll tell you as I wrote it down because I accidentally misspelled it and I kept it this way because it's funny. My pick for round 3 is King Joggin or King John.
King Joggin.
King Joggin. I believe that is like the Swedish version of King John. It's King John from. It's King John from Robin Hood. Not because he was a particularly frightening villain or anything, but you have to understand that he's fabulous. And growing up, I loved Robin Hood. It was my favorite Disney film. It was one of the Disney films that I actually watched a lot. My mom gave it to me on VHS. I had that big bulky VHS Disney film. You know the kind. And the fact he would suck his thumb. I mean, he was sad in a way. He was like a little sad bad guy. Yeah, you kind of felt bad for him, but he was also a major dick, so you didn't feel bad for him. I
already have a pop figure, and I want the new one because he has his blue robe.
I almost picked Sheriff Nottingham because he's a more threatening villain, but King John is just I love him.
Prince John. It's Prince John.
Not in my world.
It's Prince John. It's King Richard, and he doesn't want to hear the name King Richard. It's Prince John.
In my extras and epilogues, King Richard never came back, and King John sucked his thumb for all eternity. But the problem was
already covered this. It's Prince Joggin.
Well, Hunter, the bad part is when King Richard returned, as a punishment, he declared that from this point forward, all toilets in the land would be known as John's.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and he can't his name because what's he going to change it to latrine? Like,
well, what was it before?
Shithouse.
Good change. Good change.
Strong choices.
I'm keeping my number 5. No one's going to pick it, and it'll probably be disqualified, but I'm going to try to sneak it in. But let's get one more good one that absolutely will be, I think available, and that is
you're starting round 4 now.
The Headless Horseman from.
It counts.
Yeah, no, that's not the one I'm worried about. The Headless Horseman from, I think the movie was called Sleepy Toad and Ichabod's Crane or something.
The Adventures of Mr. Toad and Ichabod. It was part of the package films in the 1940s. I'm double checking that.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have to say that name for me again. The Adventures of Ichabod
and Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad.
It was one of the. So in the 1940s, because of like war stuff, Disney did a lot of package films. So there were 2 shorter films shoved together into one, basically.
Yeah.
And they
I remember watching this. I've definitely seen it.
And they wore onions on the belt because it was the style of the time. Now they had to wear the big yellow ones because of the war, the same war.
How many nickels did you had to pay to see this movie, Shannon?
5. You give me 5 B's for a quarter, and because the nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. So I'm a huge Sleepy Hollow fan. Like legitimately, Sleepy Hollow was one of my all-time favorite stories. I love the Tim Burton version. I actually do. I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan, but I love the Burton version. It's probably my favorite version. But this was the first one I ever saw, and the Headless Horseman, legitimately, in the same way Shelby was afraid, I was scared of the Headless Horseman. He was just, again, he's a headless horseman. Throws a pumpkin at you.
Right.
It's dark as hell, man. It's extremely dark. Now, the one thing I can't remember is because I haven't seen this movie in 70 years, I don't remember if the Headless Horseman in this had the same backstory as in the Burton film, that he was a Hessian. I don't think it was. I don't think that was ever said, right, Lindsay?
No, it was just a story that the love rival made up to scare Ichabod.
Well, was it though? Because I'm pretty sure the Headless Horseman effed him up in the end. So they say you can still hear his screams today.
I think I know Shannon's last pick. I'm curious if it'll make it to him and he'll still get.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. There's no way in hell anyone's picking this one.
You were trying to squeak one in, so it's not that. That's
no. I have like 5 more just in case, but I'm gonna try to squeak this one in. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
all right, Lindsay, you're up for round 4.
Torn now because now I kind of want to stick with my M theme, but at the same time,
I don't have an M left on my list. Actually,
I'm gonna stick with my M theme just to challenge myself. So I'm going to go with Madame Medusa from The Rescuers.
Oh, all right.
Works.
I don't remember that
I
character at
forget
all.
that's a Disney movie.
I don't remember
So
the Rescuers.
He's basically
Yeah.
a pawn shop owner who kidnaps the orphan Penny to help her get a giant diamond known as the Devil's Eye because the hole that it is in is too small for an adult to get in. So she forces this child to go down and search this small space that fills up with water when the tides come in to find her a diamond.
So this one is Madame Medusa, or at least it's
Yes,
spelled
Madame
with the E.
Medusa. Yeah.
That's going to be frustrating. Okay.
I forget which animator animated her, but he basically made her as an answer to the animator who created Cruella de Vil. Because he's like, oh, okay, you got your cool villain. I'm going to make a villain that's just as bad as she is. So
Yeah.
she's another one of those gaslighters, kind of like
And
Gothel.
the Cruella offshoot. Cruella de Vil
Yeah.
has not been chosen yet. That's very interesting to me.
That's I feel like that's a first round pick, quality pick, but
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah,
round
we are all
four.
we're dodging her left and right here. Well, Jesse, you going to change that for your round 4 pick here?
I will not.
I don't know. Torture is on my list. I don't want to give her any credit.
No, my round 4 pick is going to be Ernesto de la Cruz.
Ernesto.
This
Now-
has got
now
to be
what
with
is that
Coco,
from?
right?
It is from Coco.
Coco.
Yeah. So
The guy that gets the giant bell dropped on him.
because he is a bad guy in the movie.
He's a
And
murderer.
it's a great little twist in the movie. You don't really see it coming. I guess you can a little bit, but he's set up as like this hero, like he's this great songwriter and he's super beloved and everything else. And then he comes to find that he's actually a colossal dickhead and ends up being a truly fantastic villain. And and I also just fucking love Coco. That's such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
Thank
good
you,
call.
Miguel. I hope you
I've
die
got to
very
watch
soon.
this movie. I've still never
Oh, it's
seen
so
it. I've gotta
good.
You
Just
really
have
do need to see this
tissues.
movie.
Have tissues for the last 10 minutes because you will
watch it.
cry.
Yeah. And I'm certain I will because that's what I do nowadays at movies. I don't know what happened. Thanks, aging. All right, Shelby, your round 4 pick.
Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls.
Do they have a movie?
Oh shit! I think they did.
Uh-oh.
They had a
Boy,
movie.
Lindsay jumped on that so quick.
Disqualified her
Do they have a
immediately.
movie?
Do they have a fucking movie, you stupid
If they
idiot?
have a
She
movie,
started
it
to say something,
counts.
she's like, then shut the fuck up. Oh, no.
Because I've honestly never watched Gravity Falls. I hear
Is
wonderful
Gravity
things
Falls
about
Disney?
it, but it's a Disney Channel cartoon.
It's always
It's like
nice to see women not supporting other women. You should be ashamed of yourself.
God
I laid down
forbid
rules at
a
the
woman
beginning.
do anything.
I mean, in fairness, I feel like if TV shows were allowed, Lindsay probably would have had a slightly different list.
If TV shows were allowed, my list would just be the entire Rogues Gallery of Darkwing Duck.
I made it movies to make it a little bit more challenging. There's stakes to it.
W.
Shelby likes
Here
a
was
challenge
mine.
she can beat.
I know. Don't we all?
Shelby looks so sad. I don't like this.
I'm sorry.
I know. I feel terrible.
Find if
Yeah.
it was a movie.
Mhm.
Oh, apparently there was a Gravity Falls movie.
That's all I
Okay,
need to
fine.
hear.
It
All right.
counts.
That's all I need to hear.
So what?
As long
what's
as there's
this
a
guy's name
movie,
again?
I'll
'Cause
let
I
it
still haven't
go.
watched this either. Bill Cipher?
He's the
Oh, he's the
back-
little pyramid guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy. I don't know anything about him, but I've seen him. Tell me who this guy is and what he do.
He basically is a paranormal or out of this realm deity who has to find a way to bridge between his world and our world, and then he can just cause absolute chaos. He can bend the reality into whatever he wants it to be, as long as he has this open way to it. And the movie that he was mentioned in and didn't really get a huge part in was Gravity Falls Between the Pines. And it's weird because Time Baby, which is a giant time baby in the show, is asking the creator of the show questions. So it's like his creations are out of time and out of this realm, questioning him on this.
Oh.
It's really cool.
So I put a picture of him in the text for anybody who hasn't seen this guy, because I've definitely seen him around. I just didn't
He's
know who
creepy.
or what he was. Now here's what really gets me. Yeah, but he's like just kind of he's kind of cute, right? He's a little animated guy.
He's a happy
If you
dude.
Google Bill Cipher, here are some things that you see on the very first page.
no.
Under his wiki description, it says immediately, Bill was a demon summoned by Gideon Gleeful and is an extra-dimensional dream demon with mysterious motives. People also ask, is Bill Cipher a god or a demon? I don't look at that thing and go, well, that's clearly going to kill me and everything else I've ever loved.
That's
You're like,
clearly
oh,
a
it's a little
god.
bug guy.
I have the Chase coffee
just a
here
little
of him,
guy.
and he's completely covered in galaxy, and it looks really cool.
I just assumed you were going to say he was
It's
completely covered in
horrifying.
blood.
I mean, that's technically the
Please.
equivalent of it. He's covered in galaxy when he goes full on, like, rip your world
Oh,
apart.
man.
So this show, for what it's worth, is fantastic, and I keep like,
It's a young adult X-Files, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it has appeal for like wider audiences. Like it's a cartoon for kids, but it's still just very well written and very well done. And Bill Cipher is like at times is kind of terrifying. I had never watched this show.
Yeah.
Like whenever Shelby and I started dating, she was talking about it was her favorite show. So of course we watched it, and yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it. It was very, very good.
So, all right, I'm in a very unique position here because I have the last two. Well, not the last two picks. I'm about to make my last two picks into round 4, beginning of round 5, and then I'm done. Which means I can talk about any of these things because you can't take anything from me because I can choose 2 things and be done. So I'm looking at my short list, and I have way more left than I really thought that I would, honestly. Very tempted to take Cruella de Vil. It's surprising to me that she didn't make any list at this point. And I think when it comes to I'm gonna say iconography, man, like that's one that's really hard to leave on the table. I am absolutely shocked that Shelby has not taken Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas yet. That he remains is surprising to me at all. I'm totally lost on. What's that?
I have a reason behind that, and I can discuss it after we do all our picks.
Okay. I have no idea what Shannon's going to try to sneak in here. I'm looking at least 3 on this list that I thought he was going to choose that have not been taken yet, which blows my mind. Man, there's just so many good choices. All right, so the first one that I'm going to take, because I feel like he's just, again, a really good example of a great villain. Maybe not as iconic as some of the rest of them, but to round out, I can't type and talk at the same time. To round out round 4, I am going to take Syndrome from The Incredibles.
I hate the way he looks. I like that character, but
Yeah,
God, his look has
Syndrome.
always bothered me.
And part of the thing I like about him is that I hate the way he looks. He doesn't look cool because he shouldn't be cool, right? That's part of the thing about him is that like he's constantly looked at it, overlooked, and not mistreated, but like you never really think that he's, it's just, that's the whole thing. I absolutely love the "you slide dog, you caught me monologuing," like, and call me crazy, that's Patton Oswalt, right? If I remember correctly, Patton Oswalt voices
Syndrome?
that character, doesn't he?
No, it's Jason.
It's Jason Lee.
Oh,
Jason Lee.
Yeah, Jason Lee. That's what I'm
Jason Lee.
thinking of. I don't know why I thought Patton Oswalt. I had
Because he would have done a good job.
in my head and not the same. Yeah.
Patton Oswalt would have given that same energy out. Like,
yeah, but that's what I love about a villain like this, who he's kind of a Magneto type villain. He thinks everything he's doing is for the right reasons. Basically, he earned this. He's owed this. He should have these opportunities that have been passed over for him regularly. So yeah, I think Syndrome is a guy who deserves to make the list here.
I agree.
And then to start round 5, God, I got a lot of things still again left on the table. Man, Shan Yu from Mulan is a good choice, right? He's terrifying. That's a real historical villain who's very scary.
Wasn't he played by R. Kelly?
Yeah, seems right.
That's the SNL joke that I think one person got. It's fine.
I'll tell you now, I really thought that Shannon was going to pick Claude Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame by now.
I don't even know who
That's
is.
who I assumed. I don't know why. I feel like we talked about that. I just assumed that he was going to be.
I don't think I've ever seen that film. I'll be honest.
The Hunchback is so underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also, if I've seen it once. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do though. I'm gonna pick because I gotta have a more kind of normal one somewhere here along the way, and this guy's evil just because he's such a dick. Prince Hans from Frozen is gonna be my final
Yes.
pick.
Too bad no one loves you.
Yeah, just
bad
maybe
dude.
the best Disney villain twist ever.
And the
The
only
guy
Disney
who-
villain to share a song with a princess.
Yeah, I mean he comes out of nowhere. I mean that's something Disney wasn't doing. They weren't trying to surprise you with villains up until this guy. And while Frozen might not be my favorite Disney movie, I know a lot of people were super obsessed with it. I thought it was fine.
It was good.
I do really love something about a Disney movie going, we're not going to tell you who the villain is. You're going to have to find out. And it's not who you think.
It's not who you think.
Yeah.
I have
feel
another
like
good
that's,
fan theory for him for you also.
And that really
There's
does
one
where it
more.
ties to the Little Mermaid.
No, this is
Okay.
saying, so he's the youngest of 13 brothers.
Uh-huh.
There's a fan theory that 2 of his brothers are the Stabbington brothers from Tangled that have also left the kingdom because they know there's no way they're going to get to the crown.
That's pretty good.
Can confirm that Lindsay has an unhealthy obsession with these Disney fan theories.
They're so much fun, though.
All right, that means my list is complete, which means Shelby, it's time to make your final pick.
My final pick is Tamatoa from Moana.
As a big old shiny crab.
Oh, is he the crab? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crab.
Yeah, that was actually one I had on my list. Is just like nobody's gonna pick this one.
And then you look over and it's on my list.
No one's gonna pick the crab.
There's
Shiny.
mainly because it's underwater, and if anyone knows me, I hate water. I am notoriously not a strong swimmer, and if I go under, I am panicking. Guaranteed. You don't have to ask, I'm panicking.
I can confirm this.
So the entire time there's any underwater scene in a movie, in a game, in anything, it's the most tense thing in the world. So Tamatoa is one of the most terrifying things to me because it's all underwater.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And again, a great song. Like in a movie full of great songs. Probably the most underrated song in that movie, honestly, because people remember all the other stuff, but that just Shiny is such a good tune.
Yeah, and it's what is his name from Flight of the Conchords? Shit.
It's one of those things if you hadn't asked, I would know.
Isn't it like Zach or
No.
Jimmy?
Jimmy,
Frank.
probably Jimmy.
Probably, obviously.
Jermaine Clement.
That's what I meant when I said Jimmy.
Jermaine.
Yeah.
Jermaine. It is Jermaine Clement. I always forget that. It's not
But
Jermaine.
you got it when I said Frank.
Shelby was right. Shelby was correct.
Yeah, that seems right. Yeah,
That's correct.
Good
Yeah,
answer.
good
Yeah,
answer.
that's it.
All right.
That is a great
Jesse,
song. 'Cause
finish.
there are so many good songs.
Yeah, that whole soundtrack is incredible. All right, Jesse, pick your last choice.
All right, this is another just straight fucking icon that I can't believe made it all the way down here into round 5. It's Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like Jesse feels like Michael Cohen when he was testifying against Donald Trump, calling him racist. And he's like, okay, but anybody going to react to that? I mean, that's.
You're not wrong.
I mean,
man.
like-
Captain Hook is absolutely an icon. I don't know. I guess that movie never resonated with me enough to make me want to choose that. But much like Cruella de Vil, a great choice.
In complete fairness, that movie, not really.
You're talking about
But,
the Hook version, right?
The Hook version.
Dustin
yeah,
Hoffman.
that's really
Yeah.
why. Yeah. Were it not for that, I probably wouldn't have such strong feelings towards Captain Hook. But at the end of the day, he's still a Disney villain.
Right.
And he's showed up in all sorts of other media. He is a classic
But not this
villain icon.
No,
And then
definitely
there
not
was
that
that-
Hook.
Abomination.
Oh, Jesse's played
I'm
his
sorry,
war
I
card.
can never look at Peter Pan the same way when they make Peter Pan the villain and Hook the good guy. So,
Yeah, I did have a few other ones because Hunter's right. That kind of kicked off a trend for Disney because they weren't doing that villain bit. where they were trying to make you guess. But then, like, you had so many other ones that I don't want to name just in case, like, they're on, Shannon and Lindsay's list. But, like,
they're not.
Ernesto was one that, like, you didn't know that guy was the villain. Like, it was a twist.
I'm looking.
And I've got a couple of other ones on my list.
Actually, two.
But I put on there for that reason because they were, like, it was cool. It was a great twist. Like, you didn't know that was what was going to happen. So,
yeah,
I like that about a villain.
Sure, absolutely. All right, Lindsay, finish it out.
Right, since I'm sticking with my M's, it's going to be the last name, but Percival C. McLeach from Rescuers Down Under.
McLetus.
McLeach. He's a poacher who's just out to make a buck from capturing rare animals and selling their hides and feathers.
Well, he sounds like a stand-up guy. Why is he a villain?
Because when he's trying to get a bird, he kidnaps a little kid and basically throws him to the alligators.
How did the kid do?
These movies were wild, man. I don't remember a thing about the Rescuers movies.
Same.
This is
same.
This is like new information.
I loved the Rescuers Down Under. Like, it kind of got swallowed up because it came out between Little Mermaid and Aladdin. So
yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I remember the TV show. I watched the TV show a lot. I remember that.
That's close enough. That's close enough.
It's got to be close enough. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, I should say. That's what I watched all the time. All right, Shannon, this is it. This is the last pick.
Okay.
For the whole thing, and round out your list.
Well, all right. So, Lindsay, remind me of the rules. So it has to be a Disney animated film.
Yes.
And they have to be the villain of that film or just a villain?
They have to be in a Disney animated movie or a Pixar animated movie and be a villain. Yes.
Okay, but they don't have to be the villain of that movie. They just have to be a villain. That's what you said.
Henchman of that villain.
I know what he's doing. I figured it out finally.
Right? It's just they have to be a villain and they have to be in an animated film, right?
Honestly, if Lindsay disagrees with this, then Tamatoa has to be taken off. Because Tamatoa was a villain, but not the villain.
With henchmen, they don't have to be the big baddie. They just have to be a baddie in the film.
Right. So, but what I'm saying, so if they're if they're a villain in the film, but they're not the villain of the film, it still counts.
Shannon, can I say the movie and then let you make your choice and
see
if she approves it?
Go ahead, Hunter.
It's Wreck-It Ralph.
It's Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
And it's Bowser from Wreck-It Ralph.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I figured it out when he started saying they just have to be
that's fine.
Villain, right?
He's a villain in a movie. He's just not that movie's villain. I get it now. Okay, you were just making my brain hurt a little bit.
So the one I had on backup just in case was Shere Khan.
Importantly, though, I don't think Bowser is a villain in that movie.
He's in a villain support group.
He's the villain in the video game, and the movie is about video games, and it's a support group for the villains of video games.
It literally says a support group for villains.
Bad guys.
That's a villain. What do you think a villain is, Jesse?
Not necessarily. Like, you could be a bad guy and not be a villain.
Not in my book.
Shannon, I absolutely.
You drank the Kool-Aid, huh?
I feel like we've talked about this. I could have sworn we talked about Claude Frollo, but I am also surprised that you didn't pick the Chernabog from Fantasia.
That was my backup. Yeah.
That was on my list as well.
Yeah, Chernabog, and
I figured that would happen.
Almost strictly because of the sheer look of him and the.
He terrified
he says nothing.
Yeah,
he says nothing in the entire thing because that's how Fantasia works. But he's horrifying to look at.
I always turned the movie off before that last segment. I for the longest time, like my animated ended after the pastoral one with all the like Greek myths and stuff. After that, I just turned it off. I'm like, nope, not watching what's after this.
Once I figured out I could exploit the system, much like the Republicans, I decided to do that. So
we are going to let you put it on your list, but that means the fans cannot vote for you. So we're clear. Anyway,
I won last week. I don't need 2 in a row. I don't need the praise.
In your head, you definitely won last week.
Let me read you a little something really quick. When we were talking about Sleepy Hollow, it reminded me of something. I was going over all the versions of Sleepy Hollow that I've seen in my head, and it was one of those, did I imagine this? So I had to look it up. There was an ABC Family version of Sleepy Hollow that came out called The Hollow. I don't expect anyone to remember this film, but I had to look it up to see if it existed, and it does. What I want to tell you about is, and it's a stupid movie. It's about like a school teen who's the descendant of Ichabod Crane. It's very ABC Family, right? Remind you, this was on ABC Family. Let me read you the alternate version of this movie. When it premiered in October 2004 on the ABC Family channel, the hollow was trimmed slightly to eliminate the violence of the Headless Horseman's attack, and several lines had to be redubbed to eliminate promiscuous references and graphic profanity. The entire sequence of Rob and Erica's liaison and attack had several different cuts. Rob's severed head was edited out of the frame. The deaths of Erica, Sheriff Duncan, and Marcus were toned down slightly, eliminating their body's blood flow, but leaving the sound of the horsemen's swords slashing at their throats, and Karen's discovery of all the severed heads had an alternate shot to not show the gore dripping from them. This is on ABC Family.
Oh. Damn.
What channel was this made for originally? Right. Whose family was this made for? The Manson family?
God damn.
Good Lord.
That's good.
Anyway, I do accept the victory, even if it's unofficial.
Well, yeah. Until they vote.
Always do.
Until they vote, buddy.
Because right now the only person that can vote is Shannon.
And his vote should count more.
So before we talk about our actual list and what we did choose, and I put it in the text so we can actually all read them. I hate reading everybody's. I want you to be able to read your own. But I've mentioned a few that I'm surprised didn't get taken. I am still surprised we got through all of them without Cruella de Vil. Jesse, you and I were talking a lot about villains who are surprises. For that very list on my short list, I had Bellwether from Zootopia, the sheep.
Oh, I
as
forgot
a backup.
about her.
And Lotso Huggin' Bear from Toy Story 3 was another backup for me. Just like, oh shit, that guy's the bad guy? That's horrifying. I think those are the only two I mentioned or haven't mentioned yet that were on my short list.
Yeah, those were ones that like it started that trend. And then like it's just kind of like became a theme where you had to kind of guess like, all right, well, who's the villain gonna be here? And a lot of times they were leading you towards a different direction. The other one that I had that I am unsurprised that nobody picked, that I was really considering doing this for my pick number 5, but I figured Captain Hook would help me in the polls. Ratigan.
Yeah, Ratigan was on my short list.
Yeah,
I mean, voiced by Vincent Price. Come on.
I don't know that one. Who is that? I don't know that one.
From The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, okay.
Ratigan.
Listen.
Ratigan. He has a great number.
Just don't call him a rat.
Yeah. He's just a very large mouse.
While you guys were watching Disney films, I was watching Fridays starring Ice Cube and Chris Tucker.
I'm sorry.
Debo is the best Disney villain.
The Disney villain of our lives, Shannon, was the winner.
Okay.
You guys want to read these lists out, so one more go around. All right, so
go ahead.
Yeah.
Picks in the text only for babies. I'll let you read your own. I'll start from the top here. My final list is Jafar from Aladdin, Scar from The Lion King, King Candy / Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph, Syndrome from The Incredibles, and Prince Hans from Frozen. Shelby, you're up next.
Oh, are we supposed to keep track of these?
Yzma.
I got it.
You just put it into text only.
Oh, okay.
Silly.
The Horned King from The Black Cauldron, Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, and Tamatoa from Moana.
Then I had Hades from Hercules, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove, Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco, and Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
Lindsay.
And I had Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, Mad Madam Mim from Sword in the Stone, Mother Gothel from Tangled, Madame Medusa from The Rescuers, and Percival C. McLeach from The Rescuers Down Under.
And Shannon.
Okay. I had, I can't read little writing. I had Dr. Facilier for The Princess and the Frog, Iago from Aladdin, Prince Joggin from Robin Hood, the Headless Horseman from The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Slippy Toad, and Bowser from Wreck-It Ralph. And to our listeners out there who may be wondering who to pick,
you know who the real winner is.
I think that was Chernobog.
It was. He showed up.
He finally spoke.
He's finally spoke.
There is a Disney television special from the 90s where they did have Cherembug speak.
And it was Gilbert Gottfried.
No, it was not. They were going over the history of stuff, and he like stood up in front of the movie screen, and Michael Eisner's like, "Will you sit down?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Eisner," and then sits.
Nobody puts Mr. Eisner in the corner. All right, that's it for us tonight. Now, do yourself a favor, go back and listen to last night's episode of Extras and Epilogues. We had Mr. Asa Gray, the 5-star man, on the show, and we were talking about them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Next week, Hunter, who do we have on tap? I believe it is the Tan Man, right?
No,
it's
right
Jesse
here.
Kimball.
It's Mr. Jesse Kimball.
Happy birthday, Jesse Kimball, as we are talking about a Goofy movie.
Which I watched this afternoon again.
Good.
We'll watch it again next week because you might have to come in here to help me.
You might be a redneck.
And is threatening to not be there.
I thought about it. That's mean. That makes me a bad journalist. I can't do that. Tomorrow.
You gotta watch it, man.
Tomorrow is horse time. It's the time of horses. We'll be back.
I almost said horrors time. No, there's no more horrors times. What's the nostalgic horse? Is it like Seabiscuit time? I don't know.
Seabiscuit time. No. We're calling it the legendary
Mr. Ed.
No.
Oh, that's right.
It's the legendary group chat of something. We'll do it tomorrow.
Legendary PZ85 group chat podcast for happiness.
If nothing else, tune in so you can hear our thoughts on Modern Warfare 3, and we'll reveal the names currently in the chat, and boy, there are some doozies. That is tomorrow on an all-new legendary blah, 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 blah. For tonight, for myself, for Jesse, Lindsay, Shelby, and Hunter, and Lindsay's deformed toy. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Horse up. Shelby, take us out of here. That was a noise, I think, but we didn't hear it.
Make it louder.
Make it louder.
Enhance.
No, nothing. None of this is coming through.
Weird.
Dead air.
Is it really not?
No.
Nope.
She just screamed no at the thing.
No, she looked like she was begging for water. All right, that's
the idea that Shelby can scream no in your house and there's no response.